know, especially like him. And also his sisters, and I think I have her name right, Brigitta? Is it Brigitta? Did I say it right? Brigitta, I was close. I could have gone two ways. He would have set me straight. And Lynn, Chris, and Jim, and Kathy. And also good friends George and Tina. Are George and Tina able to be here? Okay. He served his country for 8 years, as we visited about in the Air Force. He retired from Dowdy Aerospace of Yakima. At the time of his passing, he worked for Keith and Keith, it says, who he immensely enjoyed working for. And he was a people person, as it says, always smiling and happy to be around. We will miss hearing his stories about his motorcycle. I couldn't believe he had a motorcycle when he was telling me. At his age, I was like, you do? Yeah, I just put it away for a little while and get back on it. And I'm like, wow, there's hope for me, because I'm still riding and I'm 56, you know. And I thought, wow, that's awesome. And he told me a lot about his motorcycle days, camping and fishing. And I don't know if you probably all experienced these things with him, bowling and golfing. Whenever he went into a crowd of people he didn't know, he walked away with new friends and stories, which I love that. You were loved by many and will be missed by all, and that is so true. I remember standing next to him at many celebrations of life. He and I worked together doing the same thing for a long, long time. And I would be standing there, and this is no joke, I would be standing there next to him, okay? And these pretty girls would walk, I thought they were coming up to me to give me a hug. They walked right past me and they would hug him and visit with him for 5 minutes and walk off. And I'm like, and then here come another one. And I'm like, well, I'm standing here too. And I looked at John and said, how do you do that? He just smiled and grinned, and that was about it. He just had this charisma, and it was nothing against his lovely wife or family. He knew these girls from, you know, families and things. I mean, he wasn't flirting with them. I don't think he was. But he got a kick out of it because I was standing next to him, and he just grinned at me and said, "Oh, you're too bad, you know, you lost out." But he just had that way about him, you know. And he would often share about hopping the train to North Dakota, you know, in a boxcar, and getting on this train. And I was talking to Angie about it, and she said, yeah, he would get a news, because a lot of people didn't believe that he actually hopped a freight train and went back to North Dakota. But he would get a newspaper or something that had the town on there and bring it back to prove his point. And I believe John, whatever John said, I know John did. And so he did that as well. But that, to me, that was intriguing, because as a kid, you know, in the 60s and 70s, you always thought about that, and you'd see some of these guys on these trains, and I think, I wonder what it'd be like to sneak on one of those. And you know, I'd never do it. I'd be too chicken. But he did it. You know, I mean, he really did do that. And again, you know, working, I know the swing shift was his favorite, probably because the only time he could get the restroom was if he worked swing shift, because he had 4 ladies in the house, you know, but Angie was telling me on the weekends that schedule changed really quick when Dad got home. But he loved his job there. He just enjoyed life, loved his job and his family, very, very much so. Like I said, he folded thousands of folders, loved to go to the beach. I don't know how many of these things you all got to experience with him. Loved to woodwork, had a machinist mind, enjoyed using his hands for all of the things that he had done in life. Anytime that John and Sandy would go on a trip, a casino was involved, right, Sandy, in the mapping of the trip. You know, you'd make sure a casino was somewhere in that map, because you enjoyed that. You enjoyed life, enjoyed people, enjoyed things. That's why he would never give me any of his paycheck, because he was always planning on going to the casino. He just enjoyed life. Well, I just scratched the tip of the iceberg of who he was. Many of you have had so many life experiences with him, and the blessing that he has to have been with you. But he enjoyed it, and I have learned so much from him, just to be able to smile and enjoy the peace that comes with life. And to me, he was a very peaceful fellow. He loved his family, he loved his friends, he loved all of you very much, and he taught me a lot in life, and he did it with a smile in a very wonderful way. I have a thought from Grace, who was a funeral director, is a funeral director with us, and she stopped me this morning. She says, Kevin, I want to share this real quick. And then after I share that, I know Janine is going to come and share with you on behalf of his family. Janine, you're welcome to come up here if you'd like, whatever's most comfortable for you, about her dad. But Grace told me a couple of things. She said, you know, I always knew when John was on a service, and she wanted me to convey this to all of you. Everything was going to get done. From the time that he got here to the time we were done, I never had to worry about anything because if John was on the service, I knew that everything would be done just right. And she says another quality of John was he would always point out a mistake on the service folder right before the service started, and we'd have to print a whole bunch more because the date was wrong. And she said she said he was so great at catching mistakes on the service folders because that was part of who he was. And so again, she just wanted to pass on that she loved him and was just a great guy to be on services with all of us. And we all from all of our locations are just grateful that we had the opportunity to work alongside of him, to befriend him, and I know life will not be the same for us from this point forth, and of course for you very much so, and you'll always keep a piece of him in your heart. But what a gift he was to all of you, and what a gift you were to him, and I know he was very, very grateful for all of you. So Janine, if you would like to share, please come and share with us.
I'll sit down here so you have full one.
All right, thank you. I know what I say today, all of you already know about Dad. Dad was hardworking, strong in his faith, loving and gentle. He showed strength and love for all of us, right up to the very end. When Dad passed, and we posted about it on Facebook, one thing that was a constant comment about him was his smile. When we were picking out the pictures for the slideshow today, I don't think there was a picture without him smiling. Of course, as his kids, we saw Dad get upset or mad, but it never lasted. Dad never held a grudge against anyone. He might remember what happened, but he didn't hold it against you. His heart was too big not to share his happiness, smile, and love. He always had a story to tell, even to complete strangers he just met. To expand on all of that, I am now going to share some personal memories from us girls. Memories for me. As previously mentioned, Dad always had a story to share that related to whatever topic was being discussed, and I can recall hearing many of them multiple times over the years. It wasn't uncommon that they would grow over time as well, or change a bit to fit the current discussion, but you never had to be concerned that Dad wouldn't contribute to the conversation. If I think about it, he taught me that you should be able to relate to other people's situations on some level or another. If you had a hobby, participated in a sport, drama, choir, or had a dream, he supported you 110% and would do whatever he could in his means to help you be successful, like making stilts for me and a classmate for a part in a play in grade school, buying a rock polisher for the rock collector, and helping encourage making jewelry out of the polished rocks, to cheering the loudest at all of the parents at the volleyball matches. He normally had to work during after-school events, but I can't recall him not being there when it meant the most. Dad enjoyed sharing his hobbies with his daughters. Some of the things I remember was watching him work on his cars and handing him tools, teaching us to find worms in the backyard and put them on the fishing hook, how to put up a tent, as well as teaching each of us to play chess. Just a few of the many things he taught us. One of the many things I will always be grateful for is him teaching me to be financially responsible. It started the first time I came home from a babysitting job. He asked me how much I made, and I made, which was probably $10 to $15, and he made me give him a third of it to put into savings for me. I can still hear him saying, if you can't pay for it in cash, you probably don't need it. At times, Dad came across to have a tough exterior, but he was actually a softie and often would tear up with emotion. If stubbornness can be inherited, I would say, thanks, Dad, for me and my sisters. I can remember many instances that we would butt heads while I was growing up, but always knew that Dad wouldn't stay angry. if I was concerned about how my parents would react to something, it wasn't unusual for me to go to Dad first to confess. He may have distributed the punishments, but once it was done, and we moved on. He never stopped being someone I could count on and was always there to help. Like moving me home from California at short notice, house and dog sitting so I could get out of town, even if it meant giving up work time, which he loved. Dad, I love you and can never thank you enough for all you shared with and sacrificed for our family. Your time with us was too short, and we will miss you more than we can ever express. Thanks for being our dad. Teresa's memories. Where to begin to share about Dad? Now, being the middle child, I might have tested the waters, so to speak, a bit too often. Of course, not thinking I was going to get caught. I believe I got several chances. He always showed me it's okay to make mistakes, and he'll always love us, not to hold on to grudges. He taught me so much. Joy in having fun. Family time singing while traveling. He would start and we would join in. Can't get to heaven on roller skates. My bounty lies over the ocean. Don't throw your garbage in my backyard. And Brother John, just to name a few. Showing me patience. While helping me with the woodshop school project, not rushing or taking over, just patiently guiding and teaching. I really learned a lot about tools from him. I love tools. Teasing and laughter. If you tease, you need to be able to take teasing. Well, we teased Dad about not calling us by the right daughter's name. His dancing, he loved to dance. His selective hearing, and his skinny white legs. He took all of us in such stride and laughter. Hugs. How hugs can take sadness away, and know that we are not alone. Thanks for all your support. I'll miss those hugs. Smiling. Watching you light up with your grandkids, being with immediate and extended family for gatherings. He had a gift of talking with everyone, always having time for all of us. He really looked so happy during these times, as you will see in the pictures. Bravery. So Dad was a very emotional person, so I come by it naturally. He would cry at just about all celebrations, birthdays, Christmas, definitely weddings, funerals, and the grandkids programs. So when he took the job with Keith and Keith, I thought, wow, how brave he is to do this and not worry about his tears, which he didn't share those tears, at least not on the outside while working. So also a strong man and father. And with my surprise, this job was his calling. It came naturally for him, and once again, he was there for others in their time of need. He just loved this job and his coworkers. Faith. With this job, I could see how his faith kept him grounded and how much room in his heart he had for not just his family, but for everyone. The simplest words go a long way. Stay with you always. Love. At the end of our conversations, he would say, okay, sweetie, love ya. Even if it was talking on the phone, I could feel the love. My tears might flow, but I know you are home at peace and watching over us. Love you, Dad. My memories. I will forever be grateful for the strong work ethic he instilled in all of us. My memories of Dad from when I was little are him and I going by ourselves camping on weekends at the Bumpy Lake. We would go from trailer to trailer or to the store and just sit and visit with everyone. One time he didn't pay attention to me and I ate way too many cherries at Sally Dorsett's trailer. And while they were talking, and that night I got so sick throwing up and he just cleaned me up and took care of me. Knowing Dad, he was probably gagging while cleaning me up. But that is not what I remember. I just remember a little girl so happy that her dad was there for her. He also used to give me sips of his beer during the bonfires up there. Sorry.
How old were you?
Really little.